Hey everybody, it's just another gamer, and we are back with some more tips and tricks for Manor Lord. These are going to be some awesome tips because these are going to make it so you can survive and prosper. These things really helped me if I would have known these on my first couple playthroughs, and I really hope they help you too. Let's get started. So, my first tip. Pretty easy one, probably something you would probably realize after playing a little while that I think is really helpful that I didn't, is having multiple oxen. Horrible example, having multiple oxen, because is that what they're called? Oh, that's what they're called. Yeah, ox. So having multiple of them can save you not only time with like getting resources out of the woods, or pretty much getting resources out of the woods for specific buildings that need them. Like when we're talking about lumber, and we're talking about turning lumber into planks or whatever. Like these are both jobs that require oxen. So if you have a dedicated ox to these stations, it ramps up production tenfold. Maybe not tenfold, but a good bit. It makes everything a lot easier. It makes, keeps your stockpile constantly full, and it keeps, lumber constantly inside the, inside your storage longhouses. It is a really important thing, because just having a few extra oxen on your roster can greatly improve production. Like, huge. It's a huge help. I would 100% suggest getting this. Okay, on to our next one. Okay, our next tip is money. So how you get money? Trading, most ways. I think you can also get it through taxation, but I haven't quite gotten there on this playthrough yet. This playthrough is I'm gonna have to restart this one. It's a whole thing. But so selling excess goods. Right now, I'm currently selling extra planks, which go for the expert price two gold a plank, and that's throwing. And I'm importing bread, which isn't the greatest thing, but I've resolved that, I think. So I'm pretty sure there's one other thing that I'm exporting. It could possibly just be planks, but I find that hard to believe. Maybe it is. Oh. I could have swore there was something else that I was exporting, but... Yep, apparently it's just planks, and that's okay. So I must be making a ton of money off planks. I mean, I must give because I have a lot. How much do we have here? We have... well, it's not gonna... Well, let's see how much we have in our warehouse. Oh, they must all... This is a bad example. They must have all been sold already. So, yeah. Making sure you're... Well, actually, what I would start currently selling would probably be either iron slabs or even leather. Really, anything you have a large surplus of can be sold for profit. But yeah, really anything from food to extra weapons, just about anything can be sold for extra profit. It is a little expensive of a buy-in when it comes to like getting the trade route, but it's worth it in the long run. So yeah, just making sure you're figuring out what you can sell. And you can sell anything that you have an abundance of. So in this case, like I said, iron slabs, I have an abundance of. If I start mining these things early, they're gonna go right into my storage, and they can be sold, especially if I'm not using it for weapons. But yeah, like I said, and pretty much any other resource, like logs was just a big one, because wood's always growing, trees are always growing. That's a big one, man. Anything you can really produce, you can sell, and especially early game, like bows, shields, you produce those early game, you can sell those for a pretty good profit once you have the trade route unlocked. But yeah, that's my second tip. Let's get to the next one. Tip 2 pretty much leads into tip 3, which is always prioritize, especially when you're doing a conquering conquest kind of thing. Always make sure you have weapons constantly. Like, as soon as you're stable enough with your food and like heat, make sure you're producing weapons, because it will, like, if you have the 2 years on or whatever it is, it will come up on you way quicker than you realize, and that is super scary when you're just getting settled, food's constant, you're not having to worry about heat, and then next thing you know, you got people like this trying to come up in your business, trying to take over. That's no good. So yeah, constantly keep your head on a swivel for running out of weapons, because like I said, it takes a lot to fund an army. So right here we have some archers, and we have some spearmen, it looks like. And if I wanted to build just a melee unit of axemen, I can't, because I don't have the swords required. and that's a huge, or the axes, I guess you'd call them, and that is a huge detriment on my army as a whole, because I could be taken over instantly if they wanted to, you know, just come in and start killing my citizens one by one, and it's game over, lost, bad, no good, nobody wants that, especially not me, not you, not anybody. But yeah, just try to keep your military in mind when you're playing this game mode. There might be like an endless game mode. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in a while, but there's different kind of game modes, and some of them require that you keep your head on a swivel when it comes to military strength and all that. Okay, that right there is that's what the. Oh, I get so full of words sometimes. That's that tip. Let's move to the next one. Okay, so our next tip is limiting the withdrawal, like the resources that you pull from around your place. So, best example is animals. Animals, you always want to set a limit for what you'll hunt up to, because you could hunt them hypothetically into extinction. So you always want to make sure you set a limit on this. My limit was 10. I don't think I have anyone there right now, so it's up to 16. But if I was to hunt them into extinction, I wouldn't have that. Or they might move. I think the cursor may move, and there'll be like one animal or something. I'm not really certain. I've never done it because I've always been very hyper vigilant of, you know, hunting. Because it's a really good food source early game, and that leads into pretty much the same tip with also your wood here. Not your wood, but so you're cutting. So you don't really have a finite amount of trees. You kind of have infinite trees when it comes to like forestry huts. But if you don't utilize these properly, you can come to a you can come to a shortage quite quickly. See how we utilize this by putting I don't think we did this, but you can put it in an area, and that's where they'll grow all their things. And then you can also go and you can cut down a certain area, which greatly, you know, makes it so they only pull from there. And I'm pretty sure you could do the same. Yeah, you can do the same with like the wood gatherers. So it's a really good thing to think about, especially when you're trying to make sure every season you're having trees to cut down and you're constantly replenishing. And if you get more than one of these trees, you can pretty much have infinite wood in this game, that's not the same thing. But these two right here, you can pretty much have infinite wood all season long, which could turn into infinite plates, which infinite plates could turn into infinite money. So it's kind of like a weird infinite money glitch, you know? Not really, but kind of. If you look at it in a roundabout way. Okay, that's that tip. Let's go to the next one. Our next tip, it's something that I didn't know. So the more people you have in these positions, not only does it make it so there's more vendors here, but it also makes it so you can feed a farther variety of houses and people. So that goes also for the storage. The more people you have at these storage centers, the more food and supplies you can get out to your people. I did not know that, and that was a huge problem. So I only have one person here, I'd be like, oh my god, we have so much food, why is everyone dying? Because it wasn't being distributed properly. That is a huge thing you have to constantly be looking out for, because food keeps people alive, and people alive makes it so they can work, and people alive that, you know, makes it so jobs get done, and everyone's happy. So yeah, just keep a good eye on that, and you will do just fine. Well, if you also heed multiple other rules. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so chalant about it. There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah, I think that's really most of the things I have to say about that, because it's seriously important. You need to constantly be making sure that your shops are reaching where they need to go, because clothing's a big thing, food is a big thing, and fuel's a big thing, because no one wants to freeze to death in a little peasant home. Okay, let's move on to our next one. Our next tip. I don't know why I said just next one. Next tip. Now, I may have spoken on this tip before, but it is super important. I didn't realize in this playthrough how important it was. So roads are pretty much the main connection from wherever you put your base down to all your stuff and all your jobs. So you need to, like, you don't think it's crucial at first until this guy that works here is walking all the way up and around here to get to work, and then all the way to get back from home to work. And if he just says this, he goes boop. He goes like from his little house here all the way here, and that's cuts him down like probably an hour in his life. I mean, not really in our life, because as you know, we're not running around doing the things. Yeah, you need to be very kind of hyper focused, but be very cautious of where their homes are and where their jobs are. And if you can make them a little bit their commute shorter, you should do it, because it'll save them time and it'll make sure you get more resources. It's kind of sounds a bit silly, but you really do got to think about it like you're the one that you're walking these dirty roads all the time. You know, you're the one. It's you. So you don't want to have to walk all the way down this hill, past all these, you know, awesome, you know, fields and right to your work. That would take a long time. That'd take a long time. I guess also with this is kind of utilizing like large like storage facilities, putting them near things. Like I put this storage facility right here next to this deep mine, and it should have a good bit of. I guess it has none at all. Well, that's probably because it goes from here maybe to here. I'm not really sure. They have a weird system. I'd figure it out. I should figure it out. But so yeah, that's also thinking about that. Where you're like here with your farms, I think everyone knows this one. But your farms, they, you know, dump their stuff right here in the farmhouse, and the farmhouse, it goes wherever it needs to go after it gets refined into a, whatever you call it. I totally know the name of it, I promise you. It's, yeah. So just being cautious, maybe? That's the word? I don't know. Leave me alone. I don't know. Don't make fun of me too much. Just being cautious of where all your stuff is going. Supply lines. I think I've touched on that before. Okay, let's go to our next one. Okay, on to our next tip. So this one is actually something that I didn't realize was important, but you can respin for your place where you spawn. I mean, you have to do all the settings and all that over again, but don't be afraid to. It's really, really, really good to get a good starting plot. Like some of these things, like every plot has like a what do you call it, has like value to different people. Like this one right here, I like a lot. I think I've heard a lot of other people like it as well, just due to the different areas where you can build. Like right here would be good for putting a castle because you have this as a natural barrier. But other things like farmland, some plots do not have good farmland. It makes it really, really hard. Like this place is really, really good. This is really, really bad. So there are certain positives and negatives to certain areas, and that should always be a really big thing when you're deciding on where you want to start your kingdom. And kind of another mini tip is you don't have to start where the game places like your little homeless shelter. Like I would personally, as you guys see in the future, I start up here. I don't like starting down here because it kind of limits me to what I can build and where I can build it and what resources I have access to and so on and so forth, and also trading things. But the main thing is you can really put you can move it up here. You can put houses up here. It's gonna take a little bit longer for them to build them up here, but just because I have to go from here all the way over here and start building. But it all depends on, it's like kind of, you know, make your own little, you know, thing. Like you get to choose where your settlement starts, and if you wanted to start up here, down here, you know, all the way over here, you can do that. So that's kind of a mini tip. But yeah, okay, on to our next tip. Okay, pretty much our final tip for this video will be managing your fuel. That's what you call it. So when you start off, you're gonna have pretty much just firewood. That's all. It's one thing you're gonna have. You're gonna want to, as fast as you can, invest in the charcoal, because I'm pretty sure one piece of charcoal turns into two pieces. No, one. Forgive me. One piece of wood turns into two pieces of charcoal, which is huge, like absolutely amazing, because that's doubling your fuel, and that makes it so your fuel is, you get crazy amounts of fuel, and you're sitting pretty. You don't have to really worry too much. That can make it so every winter's a cakewalk. This is a bad example because I do believe that we kind of outpaced our fuel supply with all the people we have, because we added like 2 residential things, and we weren't cautious enough with our fuel intake. But it's still cooking along. We still have 4 months worth of what is it, 4? Is it 2? Yeah, we have 5 months worth of fuel, because I think coal. I keep on calling it coal, might not be coal. Or charcoal, because charcoal must burn longer or something, so it works. It works on every angle. It is huge. And it can really save you a lot down the road, because I know when I first started, I was constantly running out of fuel. Constantly running out of food. I'm sorry. I'm out of it today. But yeah, so just being very cautious of those things. Being fuel. And making sure you're treating the charcoal, because there's other ways. You could just stick with the wood, with like the wood. It does take a bit longer. It also, you do struggle if you don't have like 3 people constantly manning it, and wood constantly being put out of the forest that you build. Hopefully with your army of forester huts. Sorry, did not mean to get too loud or start yawning. But yeah, I think that'll be all. If any of these tips helped you, if they encouraged you to, you know, do something better with your civilization, your little town here, you let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, if it helped you at all, leave a like. That'd be so awesome. It helps the channel grow. I love doing this. If you have any suggestions for other games you want tips on, I play a lot of games. I love gaming. It's like pretty much my favorite thing to do. If you need any tips on any other games, I'm gonna start doing more tips for other games. If you have any games that you might want help with, or you might want tips from, let me know in the comments, and I would love to be able to help you guys. Like I said, I love doing this, and I love helping people, so you just let me know. If you got this far, you might as well leave a subscribe, because I mean, you watched it, I put the time in, everyone's happy, we all got something out of it. Or if you hated it, leave a comment and tell me why you hated it. Tell me how I can improve. Help me out. I love criticism. Everyone that does stuff like this needs to love criticism. So yeah, if you have any feelings, you feel any sort of, even if you're having a good day, just let me know. Throw it in the comments. I want to listen to you. But yeah, I don't know, I'm being crazy. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, you're the best. If you're a long-time viewer, you're amazing. I don't have a lot of you, but I appreciate every single one of you. You have an amazing day, and don't forget, you're awesome. Have a good one.